Mod your guitar in association with Seymour Duncan and Aria Distribution.
Hello. Most of the Hot Mod series is about things you can do to your guitar. Today's video is a little bit different. It's all about things you really oughtn't to do to a guitar neck. And as I talk you through this and show you this particular guitar neck, I think you'll see exactly what I mean. The first thing wrong with this guitar neck, which was bought on eBay as early Pensa, is that it isn't. I've actually been in touch with Pensa in the US and they've confirmed that they had no hand in this. The logo is actually wrong for this type of neck, and if you look at the way it catches the light you can see that the varnishing is actually quite crude, and by the looks of it somebody has rubbed off an earlier logo which I strongly suspect said Fender, which is really a shame because there was probably nothing wrong with this neck before someone had a go at it. Looking at the back you can see it's had two, maybe three different types of machine head fitted over the years, and of course consequently there's a lot of different holes, some of which have been not terribly well filled with some white filler, and you can tell that the holes here have been over drilled to accommodate the replacement machine heads. Nothing wrong with replacement machine heads per se, but somebody's managed to go right through because they didn't put anything to stop the drill going deeper than it should do, which is a shame. Also they've recut the shape of the headstock, and in doing so they've had to refinish this. They haven't made a particularly great job of it, so you can see what's new varnish and what's factory finish. In fact, God knows how long ago it was done, but it still smells faintly of varnish. The nut isn't the greatest I've seen, but I can forgive that compared to the fretting. It's not so much the frets, it's what they've done to the wood to get the old frets out. I don't know if you can really see this in the video, but basically as the old frets have been taken out it's pulled quite a bit of the wood. I suspect this neck's been refretted maybe a couple of times or so, because unfortunately now the fingerboard is quite thin, which makes it a bit of a judgment call as to whether it's a good idea to fret it again, because really it needs rubbing down the surface of the fingerboard to get rid of all these areas where the wood's been chipped away, but I don't really think there's enough meat on it anymore. The frets themselves are very, very flat in profile, which suggests to me that somebody has really levelled them too much. They're almost like, I don't know, an early 335 in profile or something like that, you know, an early sort of Gibson type of profile, but flatter than that even, which means there's not going to be a lot of give in the strings under your fingers, and also the intonation is probably going to be pretty suspect. Talking of suspect, you may notice that this seems to have a kind of Telecaster shape to the end of the heel here. Unfortunately this is definitely a home job, because if you can see this in profile, it's not actually square. I don't know if you can make that out, but it's hard to see, but in fact it's actually been cut slightly, what could I say, slightly at an angle. It's not quite right. And also somebody seems to have decided that they're going to disguise their handiwork or something by using some sort of brown stain on the heel. It's almost peculiar. So really that's a whole catalogue of things that I'd suggest, best will in the world, you don't really want to be doing to a guitar neck. The first thing I'll be doing to it is filing the name off the headstock, because it doesn't belong there. It's not doing the manufacturer's reputation any good. You know, it's not as if anyone's going to look at this and go, wow, I must get myself a Pensa Custom, having seen this as an example, which it isn't of course. I will restore this neck because it's basically sound, and I'll show it to you sometime in the future when we've put a few things right.